Last night, the Cowboys made their first round pick, and at number 12, they took right guard Tyler Booker from Alabama. A big, strong body on the interior, a people mover, a guy that when he gets his hands on you, it's over. And based on what I've seen from social media, reading comments here on YouTube, Instagram, X, all of that, this seems like a pretty polarizing decision for a number of reasons. And on the live stream last night, I shared a clip from it. You can watch it on my channel. We were all a little shocked by the Cowboys' willingness to go offensive line. And now that I've had some time to sleep on it, albeit not a ton of sleep, we should have seen this coming. The Cowboys love taking offensive linemen. They had a hole at right guard from a retiring Hall of Famer. I should have known that that was going to be something that they were going to focus on. You lose Zach Martin, you feel like you have to replace it. So for today's video, let's talk about the Cowboys selection and what I think about the Tyler Booker pick. Like I said to start the video, Tyler Booker he's big, he's strong, he can move people, and he's got extremely strong hands. Once he gets his hands on you, he can move you. And when some offensive linemen come into the league, we tend to worry about their overall strength because at the end of the day, this is a grown man league. These guys are the biggest, the fastest, the strongest in the world. And we've heard people use the phrase positional blocker to describe like Tyler Biadasz or Connor Williams or Brock Hoffman, and respect to those guys. But when you look at Booker, he just has the strength and overall body type that you just can't teach. You can't teach that level of strength. So as a rookie, he's going to come in at the NFL level and push people around, and he's going to hold up well against power rushers on the inside. He's going to protect the front of the pocket, give Dak space to slide up and make a throw. We've seen over the years that Dak is really at his best when the interior is at its best. And last night on the live stream, I feel like I didn't really talk about Tyler Booker as much as I should have. I talked more about the shock of taking an offensive lineman because we really didn't hear much about it. We were thinking wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. And then in the last 24 to 48 hours, we saw the offensive line rumors start kicking up, and I think we were all a little bit shocked. But I do want to say this. The player Tyler Booker is good. At the end of the day, I talked about this draft being a floor draft. Dallas had to come away with multiple starters if they wanted to compete this year. And you know what? They did. Does Booker maybe have the highest ceiling of other guys in this draft? No. The athletic profile, the ceiling might not be as high, but I think the floor is one of the best. Cowboys didn't do it the way that I necessarily would have, but you know what? They needed a right guard. They felt like that was a huge hole on the roster, which it really was, but that was a hole that they needed to fill, and they found a guy that could come in and start right away. So at the end of the day, they really did what I wanted them to do. And it helps a struggling run game because I want the Cowboys offense to be able to run the ball, to be able to move people on the inside. And my goodness, I am really, really excited about the idea of Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler Booker. Like, that group is going to move people off the ball at an alarming rate. Those guys are going to crush dudes on double team blocks, and you might actually have a chance to run between the tackles now, depending, of course, on what you do in the second, third rounds. But that trio, it might get back to when the Cowboys had Ronald Leary and Travis Frederick and Zach Martin. That would be a dream scenario. And then you also are protecting your $60 million per year asset in Dak Prescott, not getting bullied by Jalen Carter and those defensive tackles in the NFC East. So in reality, I wanted them to get a high floor player. I wanted them to find a starter in round one. And that was really my two goals for this team coming into the draft. They didn't do it the way that I would have. I thought there were some other pro-ready guys at different spots. They maybe could have taken at 12. But with Zach Martin retiring, you draft his replacement at 12th overall, and you don't worry about the right guard spot for the next 5 years. Overall, like the player. I understand the pick. That's the main thing. That's the reason I made this channel, not only to share my opinions, but also try to make sense of what the Cowboys are doing, whether I really like it or not. Now, if you don't like somewhat negative Cowboys talk, I'm not going to completely lose my mind over this. This might be where you want to turn off the video, but I just wanted to start the video with the positives because people think that I'm hating on this team, the player, whatever, if I start giving my opinion about a certain selection. And typically on this channel, I am very, very positive. I don't like to be negative. I want this team to win games and try to give you guys hope that this team is going to win games. There are a couple of problems that I have with this pick, and we're going to talk about three of them very, very briefly. And then we're going to move on to rounds 2 and 3 because this draft is not over. We still got 2 more days. I'm not getting down about a first round pick. You got a starter. I'm still excited. So, reason number 1 that I didn't love this, Dallas still needs a wide receiver. Jalen Tolbert is the wide receiver 2. We saw this same thing play out last year. CeeDee Lamb needs help bad. And I'm not even mad about Matthew Golden. I honestly wasn't as high on Golden at 12 as other people. I actually had a Buka as the most pro-ready receiver in this draft, and he was on the board. I thought this team, this roster needed guys that would score touchdowns. You need guys that can help your $60 million quarterback on the outside. Like I said, granted, Tyler Booker helps, but on the interior, right? So I probably would have taken the weapon. They didn't love the wide receivers. That's their board. Fair enough. If they went BPA, great. Trust the scouting department. I just think we all recognized the issues this team has with consistent wide receiver play, the assets that they're lacking on the outside. And I would have considered a guy like a Buka because I thought that was a perfect complement to CeeDee Lamb. And then number 2 is the positional value. The right guard position, it's not a highly coveted one at all. Some of the top earners are above that $20 million range at guard, but that's really few and far between when you look at the position. I mean, you can get a formidable guard in free agency for about $8 to $12 million. And if you want a even decent wide receiver, you're going to pay 20 plus million. Every year these contracts go up. In free agency, what it does is tell us what the rest of the league values in terms of positions and their contracts. Wide receiver is very, very important. Look at the Bucks. They had Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and they drafted Emeka Egbuka, and they drafted Jalen McMillan last year. The Philadelphia Eagles, they spent a first-round pick on Devontae Smith. They went out and got A.J. Brown a year later. So right now, the league is telling us that value falls at the wide receiver position and not as much at guard. And for a team that likes to get value out of the draft, get value out of their contracts, Dallas hasn't figured out yet that a good wide receiver, a good to great wide receiver on a rookie contract is worth much more than a good rookie guard on a rookie contract. You can find formidable guards for $8 million in free agency. If you want a halfway formidable wide receiver, it's going to cost you big time. Unfortunately, doesn't seem like they really take that into account. And then number 3, how is Dallas supposed to parlay these picks from here? I get going BPA. I get all of that in round 1. But now, how do you get your running back, wide receiver, corner, defensive tackle? You weren't going to get all of those positions anyway unless you made a trade back and you took all 4, and maybe you're reaching in rounds 2 and 3 because you're trying to fill those spots. But now you only have 2 picks left in the top 150, and you haven't addressed any of those spots yet. I thought the needs going into the draft in no particular order were running back, wide receiver, corner, defensive tackle. That was mine. Yours could have been offensive guard, wide receiver, running back. I don't know. But for what I wanted from this draft, it gets really difficult from here to figure out how you start filling these spots because you didn't address any of them in round 1. Again, really a preference thing. So that's my thoughts on the Tyler Booker pick. Like the player, love the player. If you could have got him at 18 or 20 and maybe picked up a third rounder or a fourth rounder, it would have been even better. But I do like the idea. Make the interior as strong as possible. It's going to be one of the stronger groups on this team. Protect Dak Prescott. Give him time to throw. Be able to run the ball. I think it helps your team in the long run. Overall, I tried to give my most honest opinion. I'm not going to sit here and just lie to you guys about what I think. Gave you the good, I gave you the bad, and I really appreciate you guys for watching. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for supporting the channel during this draft season. Come check it out after the Cowboys make every single pick. We'll talk about it and break it down. I love you all, and I'll see you later tonight. Bye.